Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How are you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner. Hope I've got all your attention. You know I have, don't you? Well, today I'm joined by Terry from London, my good friend. How are you doing, Terry? Are you all right down there? Is it raining?
Mate, we had like a flash flood for a couple of minutes, but that's about it, really.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah.
It's brutal up here, mate, at the moment for weather. Very, very, very.
Oh, it's always been grim up north, hasn't it?
Yeah, it always rains off a snake past Woodhead, up that way in Manchester rather than here.
Yeah, A57.
Yeah, it's a terrible road, isn't it? But here it's a bit like that today. It's a bit grizzly bear job. It's not good. You need your survival skills to live outdoors, don't you, up here, Terry?
Porky grills.
Porky grills or John Fury grills. I think about a John Fury grill program, John in the Wilderness, because he's getting famous now, isn't he, John? Or is it infamous?
Oh man, like it's been a weird weekend, Porky. Like I think I've been in close contact with all of your enemies, haven't I?
Yeah, they're not my enemies. I love the Furies, man. If I saw
Remember, not just them,
I'd squeeze his. Oh, you mean Spencer Fearing and Dean White?
Yeah.
If they want an autograph, I'll send them one in post, an autograph picture of me, Porky.
Mate,
nice you know, say about me, Terry.
All I'll say is, I don't think anyone wants you to get healthy more than Spencer does. Like he's literally praying you get healthy.
Good. Thanks for that, Spencer. That's really nice of you. I hope you're healthy as well when we get at it at Mickey's. All right, mate.
You know, for the record, I'm coming to watch that because at first I didn't know how serious it was. After this weekend that's just gone, I'm like, okay, I need popcorn. I need everything because I think you're doing a double header, mate. You're doing Spencer first and then Dean White's in after him.
Dean White? Oh, he's a bit too big for me, Dean White. I fear him.
No. They'll be in there. They're looking forward to it. So they said, look, get well soon. They give you all their best. Get well soon. And they'll see you when you're healthy.
Dean White, come see me.
No. They said, look, you've said you're going to come down. They'll just wait for you.
Well, they know where the gym is. So let's get at it, like men, and that's it. There's not. I mean, Max were gonna fight Dean White, wasn't he? And we're gonna.
Dean will put Dean.
Terry, look, stop fucking hula hooping them down there, mate. I'm your pal, not you're hula hooping them.
No, I'm just saying that Max will get choke slammed.
Oh, Max is a marshmallow, isn't he? He's a cuddly teddy bear, isn't he? A big cuddly teddy.
He'll get choke slammed. I'm just there to watch.
I'm a different kettle of fish to Max. My balls are a lot bigger than his. But I ain't got a problem with them. It's just that I don't want people in the sport of boxing chatting nonsense like they chat, and they chat a lot of nonsense, don't they? I mean, for example, can you imagine me when I meet Dean White? He's going to go, "What have you been chatting or whatever?" I say, "Well, when you're going to show your driving license and birth certificate to the people on social media, when you're going to do that?" And that's beating me one question. I've rinsed it. I'll fight him as soon as he's shown his birth certificate. If he's shown his birth certificate, I promise you I'll fight him. And his driving license, unless he's changed his name by default. Dean White, get your birth certificate on social media and I'll fight you in the ring.
I don't think there'll be any terms to negotiate. I think this is just going down on sight. As soon as you see him and he sees you, so it's just pay-per-view.
Terry, there's talkers and there's smoky bacon walkers, isn't there? All right.
Yeah. That's why we're all waiting pay-per-view.
Good man. Well, you can come if you want. If in fact Spencer were coming on his own, wasn't he? To mix gym. Is he bringing Dean White now?
Nah, Dean's coming of his own. Like he wants. I mean, he wants some smoky bacon crisps, and he needs that pork in his life.
Dean, do you want some smoky bacon crisps? Well, take some advice. Don't eat any more smoky bacon crisps, Dean, because they'll make you look fatter than what you are. Get down to my weight and we'll have it. Let's get you out of the kitchen with your wooden spoon, Terry, and let's talk boxing. Right. You went to a fight at weekend. Banter aside, you went to a fight. What did you think to it at Wembley? Obviously, you bumped into all the characters, Dean White, Big
Living
John.
legend.
Weren't you in a lift with somebody?
Yeah, Tyson, Shane, Big John. Yeah. Yo, we had to kick people out the lift. Like, that's how much weight there was in the lift. We had to bounce some people out. Like, yeah, I don't think this lift's going to move with all of us in there.
On John 20, Shane 25. So you've got 20, 42, 52, 62 had 5. 67's there. And then there's you. What are you, Terry? 17?
About 17.
That's 84 Clem in that lift. I want to know the make of that lift, and we need to get it at Sheffield Ice Arena and get it there so that they can put boxing on there again at board. They'll tick it off because they need a new lift. So that lift is a strong lift, let me tell you.
But I will say this, man. All the Furies were nice, polite, really good people. And kudos to them for driving all the way down for Jose and driving back up the same day. So I like to see people at the top of the sport still coming down and making themselves visible and accessible to the people. So kudos to them. Also got to spend time with Clifton Mitchell, who I think is a great human being. Big fan of Clifton Mitchell. So kudos. Like, just, you can speak to Clifton for hours. Like, there's a guy that knows the sport inside out, all the way up and all the way down.
Hey, listen, Clifton Mitchell, people were saying he was going to win a world title back in the day, and he was knocking everybody out. And he just got derailed. I don't know. I think he ended up 22-2 or something like that. Massive puncher, mate. Freakish.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story about Clifton Mitchell. He sparred Naz and he bust Naz's nose. And Naz went after him after that. That's a true story, that. When Clifton were coming through, bust his nose. And I bet nobody in that gym had ever done that because Naz was a bit of a bully. You know what I mean? But Clifton Mitchell wasn't bothered in sparring. Crack, busted nose. Go on, Clifton.
He's one of those guys, right? You know, people talk about hard men. And you can get sucked into thinking the guy that's 8 foot tall and 100 stone is a lot. Clifton Mitchell's one of those legit hard men. And I mean that in the sense of you're not getting him to take a backward step. No matter what you do, he'll stand there and he'll hold his ground and you go, right, you try moving. Got a lot of time for him.
Yeah, he's a big lump, isn't he, as well?
Yeah.
He's a big lump. What did you, so it was nice to be in a lift with them. Obviously, they were polite to you. What did you think to John Fury's performance at that press conference the other day?
Thought it was embarrassing. I thought it was embarrassing. It doesn't put the sport in a good light. Look, this is the reason why boxing doesn't cross over into the mainstream, because you get people just going into business for themselves, essentially, right? That's what he did. He went into business for himself. That wasn't really about promoting the Jake Paul fight. That was about promoting John Fury.
Yeah.
You know, we've talked about this before. Do you know, sometimes, Russ, and it's not a good trait to have. It's this desire to go, I'm going to do what I want, say what I want, whenever I want, right? It's what you do when you're 5 years old. And that's what John did on Thursday. He had no sense of reading the audience and understanding that there are people at BT who are going to get sent that video by their other colleagues in other industries going, what's going on in your company? You're just letting this lunatic run around damaging your brand. That's really what he's not thinking about. And no one warned him about this either.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it's embarrassing. But part of me was like, is that just a subtle tactic to try and get Tyson off BT Sport so he could just go to Sky?
Everybody knows that they're angling to go to Sky. It's been going on for about a year now, mate. They're after getting on Sky for that pay-per-view. Do you feel that they'll not blink an eye about dropping Frank Warren and Aram just to get what they want out of sport? Do you think they're that ruthless?
Well, Aram's gone to Sky now, hasn't he? So
I know, but down the line, they might part from him. Do you know what I mean? I'm just saying hypothetically. Do you think that it won't bother them one iota if they had to drop them and go their own way?
don't think they need Frank, man. They'll just get Eddie and DAZN in if they had to do
Why
anything.
do they need Bob Arum, though, if they're at Sky and Bob's something to do with Sky? Didn't they say they need him? Tyson's a megastar now, isn't he?
Well, in boxing, yeah. I don't know if he's a crossover star just yet, but in boxing, he is, yeah.
Sports does job fire on pay-per-view. It's massive, isn't it? Once they start turning up the heat. Look at Eddie. Nobody knows about him, do they now? He's not on Sky.
Yeah, no one really speaks about him. His numbers aren't that great. Mate, people didn't realize how important Sky was to that Eddie Hearn journey. Now they're beginning to realize it. Eddie's beginning to realize it and regret it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. Do you think that coming out with Tommy when he's knocked you out, he's gonna whatever do that to your missus and what we know what he said, don't we? I'm not gonna repeat it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not nice to hear.
Gutter talk.
All that stuff, like you could have got away with that maybe 15 years ago, right? Now we've heard boxers say some tasteless stuff in the past, but we're in an era now where everything's scrutinized so much. If you think about it, as soon as that video was happening, people were just grabbing the moments and just posting them straight away. So even after they tried to delete the video at the end, it was too late. And people are looking at this going, this is happening on one of our leading broadcasters. Like at 3 in the afternoon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just tired of these lunatics and renegades setting boxing back. Because what it does, Russ, what it really does is, and I was talking to Coogan about this on Saturday. I was trying to say, all of this nonsense talk, this banter talk, it creates a culture in boxing of just trolling, right? And that's why you see people doing the takedown videos of this person and that person. And it's this really regressive culture of trolling. And it's allowed because IFL allows it to happen on their platform and Boxing Social allows it to happen on their platform. BT are now allowing it on their platform. We all have to draw a line and say, look, boxing needs all the positive energy it can get to make that money. If you really care about fighters getting paid, we all have to stop the regressive shit that we're doing.
Yeah. Do you think when Frank Warren were laughing at the beginning when it all started, and you think that encouraged John because he wasn't laughing at any Frank Warren because he was the one that went like that, wasn't he? Get it off and that kind of thing.
Yeah, he could see the car crash. I mean, Frank could see the car crash.
You were laughing and joking at first.
Yeah, but you see, that's the sort of thing that enables John to do the sort of stuff because people, oh, John's really funny. He's this, he's that. Yeah, he's a funny old man, isn't he? Imagine that was your dad embarrassing himself like that. Do you know what I mean? Like anyone listening, imagine that was your dad. It's cringeworthy. And if you found that funny, then you're probably the problem. Not you personally, Porky, but in general, anyone that found that funny is part of the problem.
Yeah, that Jake Paul is paying fighters well and that, but it's the cringy promoting that I don't like about it all, Terry. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think even Jake looked shocked, like how we ended up here.
I'm not talking about his missus. Shouldn't have brought that into it.
Do you know what? Do you know what it felt like to me, Russ? It felt like these guys had studied what Jake Paul normally does, and they were just like, look, we're going to be more extreme than Jake Paul. But Jake's the youngest one in all of this, isn't he? Isn't he younger than Tommy?
No, I think he's 2 years older than Tommy.
Ah. Poor old Tommy didn't know where to look, did he? Well, once John got into it, he didn't know where to look.
Well, because Tommy's corporate, isn't he? Clean cut, isn't he? He's a nice kid, isn't he? And that he's always looks the part.
Yeah.
I don't think he's as cunning as the other two, is he?
No, but he might live longer in the hearts of the public than the other two.
I think that John's a genius, though, personally. I mean, people criticise him, and I've criticised him, but when you sit back, he's a genius because he's been allowed to run riot, hasn't he? And people have pandered to him. And now they're like, ooh. You know what I mean? His mask slipped a bit, hasn't it?
I think people have just had enough. Like it. He doesn't bring a stack load of money with him. Do you see what I mean? When Tyson does it, you're like, well, that's the number one heavyweight on the planet. We kind of have to bite our tongue and tolerate this until someone can dethrone him. With John, you don't have to tolerate it. You just say, listen, Tyson, you're okay, but your dad can't come.
Do you feel that all them people that were on social media bragging about reporting John Fury to Ofsted and all that, and BT Sport, Top Brass and all that, complaining, do you think that them people are out of order, Terry?
No, I don't. Why?
Well, I mean, they're trying to promote a fight as well. You've got to look at it with the two sides to it, haven't you? He's trying to promote it. Do you think that they went over the top?
It was way over the top. It was completely unnecessary. It was tasteless. If it had been scripted that way, I could have kind of gritted my teeth and gone, okay, they scripted it. Not great, but at least there seemed to be a plan. It just looked like John kicked the chessboard up in the air and just said, right, I'm going into business for myself. Because normally what happens in these russes, you have like a briefing beforehand, right? Guys, this is what we're going to do. It's going to be this long. Jake's going to come on. He's going to say these things. And then we're going to need Tommy to respond. John, Ty. There's a structure to it. That just looked like they just said, to hell with this, man. We just do what we want to do.
Yeah, and it looked that way, didn't it? It looked like it was a John Fury press conference, didn't it? Because you couldn't really hear anybody else speak, could you?
No, Tyson did a little bit, but that was a chance for Tommy and Jake to go at it, and I don't think they really did.
I thought Tyson spoke elegantly, actually, when he spoke. I thought, he looked like he had his business head on, didn't he? And it just sort of, you can't really blame Tyson for anything what went off there, can you? It's like you said, John wanted to promote himself, didn't he?
Yeah, Tyson knows, right? Because Tyson will only really hit that red zone when like it's fight week or there's a press conference, because you can justify it then by saying, look, we've got two people who are about to punch each other in the face. It got a bit heated.
Yeah. Do you feel that BT will drop John now? Do you feel that Darren Barker or Bellew could have got away with doing that on Sky?
No chance. Sky just pulled you straight away.
Even if Joshua world champion?
No, they pull you straight away.
So do you think,
because they have too many other things riding on it? You see, the thing people don't realize is BT are like, well, we've got other rights as well. We've got the rugby, we've got the Premiership. This isn't how we want our brand to be seen, because at some point we've got to renegotiate those contracts.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting moving forward to see if John's still got a job at BT Sport. But then again, Jamie Carragher spat in a fan's face, didn't he, while they were driving, and he kept his job, didn't he? At Sky.
But didn't he say he was provoked?
No, he just said something. See, Liverpool got beat or something, and he spat out window or something. Didn't he want it something like that?
No, he was getting abused.
Oh, I didn't know.
He was absolutely abused. Yeah.
I didn't know. All right, then. So we agree that John Fury maybe acted a bit out of the ordinary, or is that the norm?
Let's hope it's not, for the sake of boxing.
Yeah. Only Steve Bunce will come out and say something about John being out of order. Do you think he will?
No. He knows which side his bread is buttered on. He'll just hope it goes away.
Yeah. Do you think Bricktop will come out and say anything?
Yeah, Frank will. He'll diffuse it.
Yeah.
Frank will say, look, his old man protecting his son, got a bit carried away.
Yeah.
That won't happen again.
Yeah. All right. Do you feel that John has got a reputation to live up to, that he's created this hard man reputation? And do you feel that maybe he's itching to have a fight himself just to prove that he can fight? because he keeps going on about being a fighting man.
Mate, did you see him squaring up to the screen? He had his fist ready to go. I was like, wow. He really...
Yeah, I saw one of them interview him, somebody from Andy Pirro or somebody. He said, John, we've seen you square up to the windscreen, the TV screen and that, and have you any comment on it? I said, I saw that interview. Did you see it?
No.
John were answering questions while eating a sandwich and drinking a cup of tea.
Nice.
But anyway, John Fury's a character in it, and you got to give him his credit. You've got to respect the hustle, aren't you?
Sometimes in that case, I'm just like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Oh, Dean White's very similar but more cunning, because Dean White did an interview saying he saved 472 people at 35,000 feet, didn't he? But nobody agrees with that story who I spoke to were on plane, so it's all a bit muddled, isn't it? You know, how you can promote yourself and exert yourself into big situations. Do you think?
But at least with Dean White, he puts shows on, right?
He's put one show on, Terry, hasn't he?
There you go.
Might not put another ever again.
Maybe, but what shows John put on?
He put a show on the other day, didn't he? That presser. It didn't cost him any money.
No. What shows John put on? I mean, like, I'm never going to be mad at people who have a go at trying to add value to boxing. That's me. If you put on the show, Russ, if you say I'm doing a show at Donny Dome, and I'll say, look, all you guys that criticize Russ, look at him. He's put his nuts on the line. There you go.
Hey, listen, I praised Dean White on my channel a few weeks ago for putting the show on and having a go, because I've been close up and I know what goes on with all that. And let me tell you this. I went to Nick Manner's brother's show in Leeds years ago with Dennis, and he looked stressed out to death, him and his missus, running around like chickens with no heads. And I now know why, because one fighter had ended up getting paid twice, one off wife, one off him. And they were already down on show and somebody had stroked them. That were a fighter doing that. I'm not going to say the fighter's name, but, you know, and it's pretty stressful. So I hope Dean White did his own work before he went into it, because if you want to lose money, don't bet on Sonny. No, trust me. You can lose your money in boxing. So he's put a show on, so good luck to him. I know what's involved. And I'll tell you this, he'll have had grey hairs when he woke up the next day. So that's the only little bit of respect I'm going to give him. I'm not going to give him no else till I see his driving license and birth certificate. Isn't that right, Dean? Come see.
Mate, by the way, he has real Lennox Lewis sized hands. Jesus.
Good.
Yeah.
No excuses then if you don't beat me, will he?
The
big shovel hands.
Yeah, lion paws.
Are they lion paws? Will they fit around my neck, Terry? Will they get 11 stone 5 neck?
No, I don't know, man. He might just hold you out there with one arm, like Popeye style.
Well, good luck to him, because I'll be the only person he's ever done out to. I've never seen him have a fight. Yeah, he's supposed to be a roadman, isn't he? Like John Fury. All these roadmen in boxing and they're not having fights. Right, Terence Crawford.
Brilliant.
Brilliant.
30,
is he 38 or something now? 38 freeweight world champion. Or 39. I think he's 38 Terence Crawford. What do you think about him, and does he beat Errol Spence when they fight?
I think Terence Crawford is fantastic. When I saw that fight, Porky, I went back to Kell Brook versus Sean Porter, and I still think Kell solved the Porter problem the best out of all of his opponents, because Kell beat him relatively easily, like 8 rounds to 4 comfortably. I'd love to have seen that version of Kell against this version of Crawford, because that would, like if you really love your boxing, that would have been a hell of a night. And just to see the way Crawford does things, Russ, it's impressive. He's not a massive welterweight, but he's a strong welterweight, and he's spiteful, man. He's spiteful. Ah, you know, one of those guys who you imagine wouldn't even give a novice an easy night in the ring. Doesn't matter who it is, you're going to feel some power there. And I enjoyed watching it. Terence Crawford's a boxer's boxer. I love the fact that him and Sean Porter are still friends after that fight. And I think Crawford jumped on Sean Porter's podcast a couple of days afterwards, and they were just showing love to each other. So it goes to show you can fight people you're cool with. All of this "he's my brother" stuff needs to stop, as we've said before us.
Oh, the shit all.
But for me,
I like all that chat.
Yeah, but really good fight. We need more of that. You know, guys at the top of their game fighting each other. That was a real high quality, high level fight. Yeah, I think Crawford is special. I needed to see that to believe it, but I think Crawford is special. I think him against a prime Mayweather would have been a good fight and would have given Floyd some interesting challenges.
Do you feel that Sean Porter, towards the end of that fight, he's left everything in the ring his whole career's worth that night? Because he went at a good pace, didn't he? Do you think they had nothing left? And when he got stopped, do you think he realised, I'm out of the game now?
So all the chat afterwards seemed to be about the fact that Sean had already decided to retire. Now, whether he trained like he knew he was going to retire, I don't know, Russ. But his dad didn't seem happy with how camp had gone. And his dad was like, yeah, I wasn't going to let Sean fight like that after the camp he had. So I threw the towel in. There's a lot of stuff there where Kenny Porter didn't seem to be on the same side as the son, which is always worrying, like in a father-son relationship. I guess it's irrelevant now because Sean's retired. But you do wonder. I think when you look at Porter, you go, what happened in the camp? Because he wasn't his normal self.
Yeah. He put up a good fight though, didn't he?
Yeah, he always will, man. There's that whole thing about tough men, hard men. Like, he fits comfortably in that category.
Yeah. Jumping back over the pond, Johnny Nelson's been very vocal about Richard Porte fighting a Coley. How do you see that shaping up if it happens? And do you think it happens on Sky or DAZN?
That fight would happen on Sky. That's where they'd make the most money, on Sky. I don't think Hearn wants to bankroll that on his balance sheet either. I think Lawrence wins that. I think Lawrence wins that. Would it change if you delayed the fight by a couple of years? Maybe it's more competitive 2 years from now. But right now, Lawrence would beat Richard Riakporhe.
Yeah. Okay. 6 weeks ago, Spencer Fearon said Brooke Khan was definitely a done deal. It's done. I know everything about it. I've spoke to people and it's done. But it's gone quiet again, hasn't it? Brooke Khan, and I've heard today that they can't get the money together for the powers that be, and it's not going to happen. So, what do you think about all them people that were saying it's done and it's happening and all that? What do you think about it all? Is it going to happen?
Who's promoting it?
Well, it's all a bit of a mystery, isn't it? Because there's bids gone in from everywhere, but everybody's low ball, aren't they, on it?
Has anyone from the mainstream put their hat in the ring to promote it?
Earn's bid on it, hasn't he? And there's been other people bid on it, but it's dead in water, I've been told today. But 6 weeks ago, was it 5.5 weeks ago? It's online anyway. Spencer said, no, it's a done deal. It's happening. Trust me, it's happening. Obviously, he might have changed that now to allegedly he heard it was happening. I don't know. But do you think it ever happens?
No.
Do you think people...
No. I've said it every time you've asked me this, Russ, haven't I? I've said I don't think Khan would ever give Kell a payday. Never.
Yeah. Okay. Let's have a look. Joe Gallagher's stable at the moment. Paul Butler, he's got a fight on December 11th. I think he's out for a world title.
Ah, man.
Not
Gentleman Joe Gallagher.
Callum Johnson, he's going for a title in 2022. Charlie Edwards is there. Jose Burton looks like he might be stepping up in weight. Sam Hyde, Natasha Jonas. There's a few more there as well, but it looks to me like he's strong again, isn't he?
It's a solid stable. I'd still like to see a couple of those young kids from the Northwest go with Joe, like turn over from the amateurs and go with Joe from zero. You know, let's see, because I was watching the video clip the other day, Porky, of Joe in the corner of Stevie Foster, or Steve Foster Jr. And that was one of the first pros Joe had, wasn't he? Like he turned Steve over. So it'd be good to see Joe get back into that sort of mold again, take a kid from the amateurs and sort of, you know, ride the wave again. But you know me, man. I'm Team Joe now. You know, Joe, nice guy. Love the stable he's got now. It's mature, but he also knows that the average age of the stable's got to be what, 31, 32?
No, I wouldn't have said that. I think he's got young. He's still got some young ones there as well. Though. Maybe it might be that, but I think he's still strong though.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, from a coach's perspective, when your stable gets old like that, you got to start refreshing it, because otherwise all that experience goes before you get the young kids in to absorb it.
Maybe. I want to see Callum Johnson get his just desserts now, because I think he's an avoided fighter. He never seems to get Robert Green, does he? And he don't seem to be vocal about it, or he don't. You know, he's not a. Reminds me of Yui a bit. You know, where he's pretty laid back, isn't he? You think?
He's caught between the two stools, isn't he? He's already done the domestic scene to death.
Yeah.
So he doesn't. It's hard to justify him going and saying, I'll fight Dan Aziz for the British. As much as Dan is my friend and I like him, Callum's kind of already done that. But he's also not quite operated at world level on a consistent basis. It's just a Peterbiev fight. So he's kind of in that middle ground where I think after his next title fight against Joe Smith Jr., well, hopefully that happens, he'll cement himself at that level, hopefully.
Yeah. Okay, then moving on. Our social media platforms helping fighters to take their eye off the ball, off the job in hand. This is a young lad sent me this in. You know, meaning like, are they taking their eye off the sleeping patterns, the concentration levels, the resting up, the you know, is social media a problem for young fighters coming through?
No. If you look at why most fighters are screwing up, it's a number of reasons. One, this is the generation of kids that wasn't raised on playing outside. There's a generation of kids that wasn't raised on compulsory PE in schools. This is a generation of kids that don't play sport in their spare time. It's a generation of kids that are all about the video games. These are the problems. So by the time the kids step into a boxing gym, they don't have, they're hollow. Do you know what I mean? They're not strong, they're not active, they're not energetic, and you're having to try to put that into them. So you're already starting a few years behind other countries. The second problem is we don't have trainers good enough to teach our kids the right things. So even before they start talking about building a profile on social media, they got their hands tied behind their backs. That's the problem. The social media stuff, look, Terence Crawford does social media. Shakur Stevenson does social media. They still do pretty well, but they're well-schooled, well-taught boxers. We don't have that here. And we don't have the guys that can deliver that.
Okay, then I'll throw a curveball, a question from me now. Do you feel that some people are getting into the sport and they're completely blagging it? They're never going to win anything, but they're making big noises on social media, but they're never going to win no, but they've got board licenses, male and female. And these people think, well, if we get on IFL and certain platforms, we'll get opportunities. Do you respect fighters like that, but knowing that they know they're never going to win fuck all?
Like who?
I'm just saying fighters in general.
Come on, Russ, the voice of hardcore boxing. Like who?
seen it, haven't we? We've seen, well, there's fighters, in my opinion, who are not going to win now. But
Who?
they're always on social media. You know, I'm not saying, you know.
Why? Wait, hold on. Why? You can't hold back now, Russ, because I'm with you 100%. But I don't know which ballpark we're talking about here, so I don't want to talk about the wrong people.
Oh, there's too many, right, going on IFL, befriending them because they're linked to certain people, and they're never going to win fuck all, and they're hopeless. And it's like male and female. I'm seeing it. I'm not going to say any names, but
Okay. If you want to give the political answer, I'll give the political answer as well. Then, right? And I'll just say, well, everyone should be given an opportunity.
Yeah. Well, we'll leave it at that then. So that goes on whether you liked them or not, then whether I drop the names in that. No, I was looking earlier on social media and I thought, oh, that person's on here again. Oh, that other person's on here again, and they're connected to so-and-so. And I'm seeing a pattern. And this pattern's been going on now for 10 years. I'm seeing a pattern. And I see certain fighters who are 20 times better than them. And they're not on IFL all the time because they're busy training. Then they're not letting social media ruin their life about it's self-promotion, isn't it? But there's too many self-promoting that they're not delivering the goods in the ring. You can go on forever, can't you? We name. Well, whatever. You can go on forever, can't you? I just think there's too much of that going on. And there's kids being left who are not getting the opportunities who are good kids. And let me tell you this. When that's why
hold on. No. So that I don't believe, right? I don't believe there are promoters in this country that would leave money on the table.
Yeah. Let me tell you this. When SYPS turn over Quinn Ahmed and back him, right? Because there's a lot going on behind the scenes. Quinn's not going to be in that position where he's got a hula hoop because he'll be going the mandatory route. Hard work is the way forward boxing, and that's why it's got to be all this. I need to get in with so-and-so to get me sent out there and all this. It's a load of crap. I'm seeing more fighters, right, on social media going to shows than ever now and palling up YouTubers. I'm seeing it with my own eyeballs to get themselves out there. Fair enough, I understand they've got to promote themselves, but these people should be at home resting when they're near to a fight. And them fighters, you know who I'm on about. When you get beat, don't come crying on social media about, oh, this went wrong, that went wrong. You shouldn't be at shows on a Saturday night when you're 2 weeks before your fights. You should be at home resting and watching it the next day. That's how champions do it. You won't get Clinton Woods up in early hours watching boxing in America. It won't happen. He'd get up that morning, do his run, and if he's got a bit of spare time in the day, he might catch up with a fight. That's the difference, Terry. Do you agree?
So I don't think you should be going to a show 2 weeks before a fight. No, that's reckless.
Oh, yeah.
You know, before the fight, you got to shut yourself off, and it's all business. Do I mind you being on social media? Look, there's 24 hours in a day. You're only going to train for 3 of those maximum. You're going to rest for about 10 of those. You've got enough time for social media if you do it right.
Yeah, I suppose you have. Yeah, I suppose you have. But
yeah, as long as nothing gets in the way of training, Russ, that's it. As long as you don't let anything get in the way of training, as long as you're still getting up at 6 to run, as long as you're still ready to spar at 11, as long as you're doing your conditioning work at 3, that's what helps. And then the rest on top.
Yeah, do you remember when Clinton Woods said he could never work out why certain fighters felt that when they turned pro, they needed sponsorship and they packed their jobs in and that and all that?
Yeah.
He'd get up in the morning, do his run, then he'd go to work and be a plasterer. Then come home at night and go do his training session at the gym at night. Now, what is he doing more? Sorry, he's an athlete, but how much is he doing more than your average Joe? Because you go to work and then you go to gym at night. So you're doing the same as Clinton. So the only thing he's doing more than you is the run in the morning. Isn't he really?
No.
All right, then go on, Terry.
Okay. You see, Russ, right? see what you do now, you do full time, right? Pretty much. You could do 5 or 6 videos in a day, right?
If I wanted to, I don't know, but if I wanted to,
yeah, you could. And in doing that, you learn these little subtle nuances and little tricks just from doing it a lot. So when you've got time to be around boxing a lot because you don't work, it's just little things you pick up on. So it might even just be you get to meet old Dave from ringside, so you get an extra pair of gloves, or you get to tell Dave, actually, these gloves I used in my last fight and they made my hands hurt, and then he might fix that problem. So there's value in that. There's also value in being around the gym after you finish training, because you might see someone do something that's educational for you. Do you see what I mean? You can pick stuff up, you soak stuff up from being in the environment. But the key thing is, Russ, the environment has to exist in the first place. So what I'm saying now is pretty theoretical. It's what you'd like to happen. But a lot of times gyms, they don't really understand this. So Clinton's kind of right. But the question I'd have for Clinton is, how much better could he have been if he was solely dedicated to boxing?
Well, Clinton worked up until winning British Commonwealth and European when he beat Crawford Ashley. After that fight, I believe, and Clinton will correct me if I'm wrong, because Clinton watches these. I believe he got backing to not go to work, and do his job, and he went. Obviously, he got a world rank when he was chasing Roy Jones for mandatory. But which you can understand. You want to put everything into it, then, don't you? When you realise, I could really do something here.
You know what, Russ? I've seen boxers with jobs screw their careers up. I've seen boxers without jobs screw their careers up. I've seen boxers with jobs do amazing things. I've seen boxers without jobs doing amazing things. The key thing is, are you self-directed enough to want to be the best? Yes or no? Yeah. That's all I look for. You know when I meet a lad and he says to me, "I'll be happy if I win a British title." That will be his level. He'll never go past that. I like lads who say the British is a stepping stone to world titles. I'm like, okay, cool. Now you got to live
that. Yeah. I see where you're coming from. Will Joshua stay with Sky or DAZN? Have I asked you that?
Have you asked me that before?
I've asked you that before.
Yeah, I don't think he knows at the moment.
If it's DAZN, will it be 25 quid pay-per-view plus your £8 monthly subscription?
Well, that will be their model. It will be pay-per-view on top of your subscription. But here's the hard part, Russ. You wouldn't want to start your pay-per-view offering with Joshua. You want to prove it on something that's not as high stakes, because if that thing collapses on you, that's going to be a big problem.
What, you mean Joshua should have an interim fight against the top 15 guy? And Charles?
No. More DAZN need to find someone they can do a pay-per-view with before Joshua.
Oh, you mean, so it's tried and tested then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. Joe G says Joshua should be looking at. Joe Gallagher said to Matthew Macklin on Macklin's podcast, which I really enjoyed, and I look at Macklin differently now, because it's like on his podcast, Macklin's take, it's cool. He's like all for boxing fans and hardcore boxing fans, but every now and then he'll slip back into Sky company mode. Like he does it when he's at the Sky ringside commentating, and he did it when Joe Gallagher put him down because he said something about Dylan White deserves his shot, and Joe Gallagher went, "Why? Who's he beat? Who's his best win?" And Matthew Macklin went, "Yeah, you're probably right, Joe Parker." So do you think that Macklin does slip back into that company man mode? Yes or no?
Everyone's primed, aren't they? We're all primed by the media to think certain things. And we've been hammered over the head so often with the idea that Dillian finally deserves the shot that you just almost say it, don't you? Like, yeah, Dillian deserves the shot. I think Joe was just like, I think he was just letting them know, look, you can't just say things without being able to justify them. So fair play to Joe for for checking him. You should always, when you're on these things and people say stuff, you should always check him if you don't agree with it. Go, hey, what do you mean by that?
I've seen somebody, and I'm not going to say you, I've seen somebody in an interview and they've said something to him. And this pissed me right off. And he went, yeah, I agree with that. And I thought, well, you didn't say that to me yesterday. So I was straight up for him. Well, I've got to play a game, man. I'm like, fucking hell, what? Do you know what I mean? So I feel fucking mugged off.
Why?
I do, but I can understand these people have to play the game, but fucking hell, mate.
But why do you feel mugged off though, Russ?
I just do. I don't know. I would have preferred him to say what he said to me.
No, but Russ, you say stuff to me that I know you don't say on your channel, right?
What? I can't say everything on here, can I? I get arrested.
You know, thank you. That's what I'm saying to you. You can't always just, be unfiltered in the public domain. We saw what happened with John Fury when he was unfiltered.
Cards on table here and say, well, this fucking person in boxing's been doing this. This person in boxing is doing this, and every fucking knows what's going on. We fucking can't do that, can we? Because that'd be like, wouldn't it?
So I'm okay with people.
I was on about rankings with this guy. So shouldn't have that ranking. He went, yeah, too right. And then he goes on fucking TV and he says, well, fucking he's deserved it. And I'm like, the fucking what?
Yeah, but you got the truth though. And that's what matters. As long as they're telling you the truth, Russ.
Maybe. I did pull him about it. Like, only yesterday. And he went, well, what can I do? He went, I fucking know this call would come in. He says, when I seen your name come up, I fucking know what it were. You know what I'm like?
I do.
Anyway, Joe Gallagher said that Joshua should be. This is a question that you'll like. Joe Gallagher was talking to Macklin and he said he feels that Joshua shouldn't be searching around them American trainers. He should be going around the European ones and maybe speaking to Brady's team because they're the ones that have run Usyk the closest. What do you think about that? I think that's a good point made. I do.
I think Joshua caused Usyk more problems than Brady's did. Joshua's problem is he just couldn't sustain it. Yeah. Listen, you saw Usyk's face at the end of that.
Do you think it was a fitness problem, Terry, and not a technical problem? He couldn't that gas, could he? In the third minute of each round, because if we break rounds, you know how trainers do, they break rounds down into segments, don't they? In the third minute, he couldn't stay with Usyk, could he? In most of the round. Do you agree with that?
No, I think he could. His problem was this, Porky. When he couldn't get a lead on Usyk, he started to doubt himself. And if you ever notice with Joshua, when he doubts himself, it all becomes a bit uncertain. It's a bit slower. It's not as confident. And he retreats. Joshua's problems aren't technical. You're not going to teach Joshua to throw a punch in a combination he can't already do. Right? You're not. Joshua's problems are all in his head. Right? He got it into his head that he could be this great boxer who could brawl, who could box going backwards, who could slip, slide, and roll. He could do all of these things if he applied himself, right? I don't know who got that into his head, but that's what he got in his head. What he's now starting to realize is Anthony Joshua in a boxing ring has only one approach, and that is to seek and destroy. Now, if he can just remember that, he doesn't need anyone. He could train with Joe G. Joe G would get him right for Usyk. Winning against Usyk is not hard when you're Joshua's size and strength. As long as you don't let Usyk escape to his right-hand side, it's a hard night for Usyk. Chisora's showed us. I don't think Chisora's as good as Joshua, but Chisora said if you really go for Usyk and really lay the gloves on him, mate, he's human.
Yeah. Do you think Usyk is beatable, Terry?
Yeah, I think he is beatable. I think you need a number of things to beat him. Number one, you need the tactical discipline as an orthodox fighter to keep going to your left, right? As long as you keep going to your left, you make life hard for him. You also need the fitness to match his work rate. Yeah. That's the thing that intimidates people. It's his work rate. The rest of it, has he got a chin to take a heavyweight shot? We're going to find out.
Okay, good points made there, good answers.
But I will say this: I do believe Okolie would beat him at cruiserweight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What about that heavyweight?
Maybe even then. I don't know what Lawrence would be like at heavyweight, so I don't know what additional benefits he'd have moving up. But at cruiserweight, yeah.
Terry, you got to be trolling me with that, aren't you? Surely.
No.
Do you think
No.
Okolie does Usyk at cruiser and heavy?
Yeah. Oh, wait, no. Remember, I said I don't know at heavy. I said cruiserweight. Now I'm going to get absolutely roasted in the comments. So anyone hearing this, I know the comments are coming. Right? I'm not going to read them, by the way. So good luck to you.
He does read them. You'll get rinsed off this lot on here.
Yo, I want to get the what's that BOTW thing on the asylum. I want to get that for what I just said.
End of the week or something. Bell, you have the week.
Yeah, I'm going to get that one. I got that locked in for the week. I might even make your helmets of the month, actually.
Hey, 10 a.m. 29th Monday. I'll be in Leeds filming on Monday, 10 a.m. So get your votes in for 10 a.m. I'll start filming at 1 minute past. Get your votes in. We'll add it all up. John Fury's leading at the moment. He'd come from nowhere, hasn't it? Last 2 days. God, you know, every time I have to, I hope he don't win it because it looks like I'm terrorizing him, doesn't it? But you know what I said, don't you? When I put Peter Fury in, I was like, oh God. Dennis is like, you put Peter Fury in helmets. He took it on at chin, Peter. He just said, worried about it. But John Fury, if he wins this, he looks like I'm terrorizing him, doesn't it? Because he's already one weapon a week.
Mate, if I win it,
I'm having him at my door, aren't I?
Yeah, mate. If I win it, I'm gonna do a video, man. I'll be like, Porky, come see me.
John, if you get the votes, you're going in it. If Kinahan gets them, Peter Fury, Dennis, Dean White, Spencer Fury, and if anybody gets it, you're in it. Take it as a compliment. I mean, I've had people ring me up saying they feel a bit left out that they're not in it. I'm like, well, you need to get yourself out there and get some votes. Chat shit on IFL, you'll get votes. But no, I'm hoping that it's Mr. Bean or something, because he don't ring me up and threaten me, does he, Mr. Bean? I hope Mr. Bean does something stupid, like releases a body out in his cellar. You know, tomorrow or something. And he'll nick out votes, won't he? He'll get it. But at the moment, it's John Fury in the lead. So it's like, you know, them Kevin, he's like, oh, God. Who's winning helmets? Oh, John Fury. Oh, fucking hell. What are you going to do, Russ? I says, well, if he wins it, doesn't he? He's, oh.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, God. But I'm like, get in there! Right. Are too many young managers getting carried away with new signings and then getting themselves on certain platforms, we know, and giving it the big one about these certain fighters? I mean, not so long ago, what we hearing that Florian Marco were a roadman.
Were we?
That's what I was hearing off certain people. They were saying Florian Marco was a roadman.
They change your sources. Florian Marco's a nice guy. He's one of those guys. Yeah, he's been a professional athlete for most of his adult life, so I don't know how you can be. What I will say is he probably knows a few, and he could probably call on a few if there was ever any pressure. But I don't think he is. I think he's an athlete, and I think that's what he is.
Okay.
Because you know, Russ, you know the test for being a roadman for me is like you might end up doing 25 to life. Like just because you can have a row in the Rose and Crown, that's not it. Like that's just the guy that can have a row. It's those guys that will chop you up and put you in an acid bath. And I don't think that's Florian Marco.
Who do we know in boxing who does things like that?
You.
Skio, man.
Mate, I remember those exchanges with with a certain guy, and you're there like, I'll meet you at this place here, and whew.
What, when I went?
Mate, you were on smoke that night, all over one comment.
Yeah, that was 10 years ago, and I was charged up on the old Peruvian. I was capable of both them in them days, but no, I'm not. I'm a little pussycat. I have me 2 little cans of Guinness, although I couldn't get none today, so it's John Smith Smooth because I can't have anything with gas in. And it looks like No Time to Die, James Bond tonight. Amazon Prime,
Nice.
£15.99. Shut the door. I've got my malt extract, my 2 cans of John Smith, so I've got 1 left, and no friends. Isn't that right, Rocky? Just me and James Bond, isn't it, kid? What you got planned for tonight, Terry?
Hey, I'm doing Porky's Corner, and then I might go out tonight, but there's a tube strike, so the tube lines I need are off. So I'm like, well, what's the point?
How's the tube strike?
Yeah, they just moan about stuff like they moan about having to work, maybe like work a weekend or something. Oh my god, I got to work 2 weekends a year. That's out of order.
You know what I noticed when me and Mick went up to in London?
Knightsbridge.
Knightsbridge. Mick says we'll go on tube this time. I went, all right. Well, first time we went in his not roller, what is it? Bentley.
Range Rover. The Bentley.
Bentley, you got a ticket, and you see me giving traffic warden loads of jip, don't you, on the channel?
Yeah.
We went up that second time on tube, and I thought, what's going on here? I said, how do we get through here? Because they're like electronic things, aren't they? And Mick just had 2 credit cards and put 1 on each, and we went through. And I thought, God, they've got it all figured out. They don't need staff, do they?
You do for safety reasons. So let's say there's a fire in the station, you probably do need staff. And this is what they're kind of debating, is how many members of staff do you need in every tube station for safety?
Well, why can't you get bus wherever you want to go? Is it so it take too long?
Take too long, Porks.
Is it? Okay. Who has fought on pay-per-view who's come through the small hall system in the last 10 years?
Dillian
White. Who else? Scott Quigg.
I'm trying. Was he pay-per-view?
Scott Quigg fought Frampton on pay-per-view.
Okay, yeah.
So that's 2 in it.
Does Froch count as small hall?
Froch, no. Rocky Fielding.
Wasn't that just on DAZN? I don't think that was on pay-per-view, was it?
Oh, and I didn't say Sky pay for. Oh, was it just on DAZN? Was it Rocky Fielding Canelo? Was that DAZN? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. I don't think you could say Froch because he's more or less come through from like the England setup, only bronze medal and all that. But
yeah, but he's a small hall talent, though, isn't
he? Are you fucking taking piss or something again, you? Why do you have to dig Cobra out every video? You fucking give me an ulcer. You kill me. You have to do it, don't you, Terry? You can't help it, can you? Cobra, I'm going to fetch him to you. When I've got some gloves here for you to sign, I'm going to fetch him and let you take him in garage.
I might just show up in Ulta and get a table right there, right in the middle of the restaurant.
Dillian White and Scott Quigg, you wouldn't say they had decorated amateur careers, would you? But
Quigg was okay. He wasn't special.
Yeah. I thought Quigg were a big puncher, me, and a highly trained, dedicated kid.
I think Joe did a really good job with him.
Well,
remember when he left Gallagher because he thought the grass was green on the other side, and it turned out actually it wasn't.
Came back. Where Scott Quigg lives in Bury, he lives near my very good friend Frank. And I said to Frank,
with the spots or without the spots?
Frank without the spots, 76-year-old from Bury. You know my mate Frank.
Yeah.
Frank I said, is that hill Quiggs runs up? He goes, yeah, and you should have seen it. It was like a mountain. And Quigg would have had to run God knows how long just to get there. And he used to run there, get up it, go down it and go back, and that was his run every day. And I was like, wow. So he must have been really dedicated. I wonder how Scott Quigg's going to cope as a trainer, because I've heard he's all right. But what if he sees somebody who doesn't have the same commitment here? Because this is I don't know if it's a mental block or what, I might have this wrong, but Clinton said to me that's the problem he has with training people, that he don't see the same desire that he had. Do you see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, he's right. Like, good fighters are very selfish people. Good trainers are very selfless people. Two different skill sets. Two different skill sets. It's rare that you go from you don't go from being elite in one to being elite in the other. It's really, really rare. I know people always use the football example of Guardiola, but Guardiola was a reasonably good midfielder in an amazing team. Do you see what I mean? He was like the water carrier in an amazing team, and he went on to be a good manager. But he was a good striker, wasn't he? Like Brian Clough, but they weren't top level. They weren't top level.
Yeah, well, like a Michael Ricketts type, weren't they?
Oh my God, you had to dig that one out.
It's a game for England. On back of playing for Big Sam. But yeah, there's other people I went there in boxing who've been champions and not took to training, but yet whereas we have fighters that are like journeymen or fighters that didn't achieve much go on to be great trainers, don't they?
Yeah, different skill sets. Here's the thing. I always look at it like this, Russ. Let's say you know 1,000 pieces of information, right? If I only know 200, you have more pieces of information than me. If you can only communicate 100 of those to people and they make sense, and I can communicate 200 of those and they make sense, I'm now a better trainer because you may have more knowledge than me, but what you're able to get out and get value from is a lot less than what I can. And I think you find that a lot with trainers.
So do you think that highly skilled world-class trainers struggle to get their point across? Because why can't Floyd Mayweather train the best fighters in the world if he were the best fighter? Why can't he get that point across to his fighters, or have they just not?
Because he doesn't necessarily know. You see, Russ, like when you train someone, a lot of these guys that you see that were really good boxers, right? And this is probably what Clinton meant. If you train Clinton Woods, he'll make you do what he did, right? Do this, do that. It worked for me, it'll work for you. Oh. Right? That's what most people do when they train. I did this, you do that. I trust it, it works. A real trainer sits there and goes, okay, who's in front of me right now? What do they need to be successful? And you build a plan around the individual. How many boxers can manage multiple different plans in their head for each fighter? It's a skill. Joe G, he'll tell you that. It's a skill. Being able to match the training to the fighter is a real skill because you have to have the patience to listen and to understand, even before you start training the person.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously.
That's why it suits guys like McCracken, because McCracken took to boxing late. He was already working when he took up boxing. So he understands you have to learn the hard way when you do it that way. A lot of guys like Mayweather, they don't know why they do the great things they do half the time because they've been doing them for so long.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Moving on then. Do you remember this time last year you give me a list of your 10 fights that you wanted on your Christmas wish list?
Yeah.
This was your wish list. Craig Richards versus Boazzi.
Didn't get that.
Joyce versus White.
Didn't get that.
Lyndon Arthur versus Callum Johnson.
Didn't get that.
Sonny Edwards versus Yafai.
God, we were nowhere near that.
Savannah Marshall, Clarissa Shields.
We're close.
Warrington Dogbow.
Should have happened. Now, missed opportunity.
Billy Joe, John Ryder.
We might still get
that. Fury versus Hunter. I'm assuming that's Huey Fury.
Yeah.
Chris Conger versus Josh Kelly. That's a good fight, that, isn't it?
That is, yeah.
That's, you know what? I don't mind paying 20 quid for something like that, me, you know. Do you?
That'd be a good fight. I
For
think
us,
that might happen next year.
I'm just saying, for us, stuff like that's good, in it. You know, we felt like that.
For the hardcore.
The hard road for us hardcores. Two more left. One left. Sorry, Isaac Chamberlain versus Billum Smith.
Would still love to see that fight, but now it looks like it might be Mikel Lawal versus Chris Billum Smith.
So, Terry, I'm going to throw that now. I want you to give me your next 10 for 2022 that you want.
Oh, Jesus. Terence Crawford versus Keith Thurman.
Crawford Thurman, why not Crawford Spence?
I want to build up to that.
I'll go on then. What's your next one?
Yoka versus Joyce.
Yoka versus Joyce.
Yeah.
Tony Yoka. He don't get mentioned, does he?
No. But the pork father.
Joyce, they could quite easily be the best heavyweights in the world, couldn't they, really?
Yeah.
Today, if they have a good day, if they got him with Fury and Joshua Wilder, they could quite easily pull it off, couldn't they?
Yeah, if the stars align for them, 100%.
Yoka Joyce, would you pay 20 quid to watch that on pay-per-view, Terry?
Yeah.
I would, yeah. Yeah. Do you think that there's some lower level fights? You know, Joyce and Yoka's not going to be a Fury Wilder for hype and trash.
No.
But it's as good a fight as that, isn't it?
And it's got the story, the natural story from the Olympics.
Yeah, 20 gold and silver they both got, didn't they? A bit like Riddick Bowe, Lennox Lewis, which never happened, did it?
Yeah.
Okay, then what's your third one, Terry?
Oh, so we're still in cruiserweight, aren't we? So I want Mikel Lawal versus Chris Billum Smith now.
You want who?
Mikel Lawal, Boxing Saturday. You know the guy that iced the. Was he Italian? The guy that he just knocked Spark out.
Oh yeah, Billum Smith
versus Mikel Lawal. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. What's your fourth one?
Natasha Jonas, Michaela Mayer.
That's a good fight, that, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I had to show Joe G some love.
Yeah. What about Callum Johnson against Yard or Boazzi? One of them.
Nah, I only want to see Callum Johnson fight for world titles. So maybe, and this is hard just because of the respective networks, but I'd like to have seen him against someone like Bivol. So maybe not Bivol. The winner of the Marcus Brown fight at light heavy. I can't remember who Marcus Brown's fighting, but I'd like to see Callum Johnson versus a guy like Marcus Brown.
Joe Smith, is it now?
No. I want to see, actually, regardless, I want to see Callum Johnson versus Marcus Brown.
Brown, yeah. Is that who Pascal did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fight I'd like to see. Dan Aziz versus Lyndon Arthur.
Yeah, that's a good fight, that.
Yeah.
What about Shaq and Peters? Don't you want to see him in with anybody?
No.
No?
No. Maybe him against Jose Burt.
Yeah? But I don't think Jose's going to fight at 175 again, is he?
I think Shakan would happily not make 175. He's a big guy, and I'm sure getting to 175 kills him. But I don't know if it's you I sent the voice note to, Russ, but I said Jose Burton's title days are pretty much done, right? Why doesn't he just find fights somewhere between 175 and 189 and just fight people at that weight?
What a catch weight.
Yeah, just give us entertaining fights before you bow out. But I definitely want him to stay because I saw him on Saturday after the fight. Right, he was up in the hotel bar afterwards.
Struggle with weight, didn't he?
Oh mate, he was like, listen, I can't make 12.6. He was honest, I can't make 12.6 anymore. And then he said, but I can't do 14.4 because I'm not big enough.
Because the 14.4 guys are going to come in at 15.4, aren't they?
Yeah, they're coming down to hit cruiserweight.
Yeah,
and he looked so like frustrated with everything because he's like, look, I'm better than that. That's what you're saying. He's saying, I'm better than that. But I just had no strength.
That's
what he said.
I've seen him in gym doing the business, and I think he got on scales that day. I think he might have been 13 or something, or 12, 10 or something, and he was saying he had a fight coming up. And straight away I thought, kid's worried about weight. You know, when you bring scales into the middle of the gym, he's out. It's something that's on his mind all the time, and he's a tall kid, isn't he? But he's got skills to burn, you know.
Here's the thing about Jose Burton. He's been a fantastic servant to British boxing. Like I think I said in one of my episodes.
Talking her out, dear, or carrying off.
No, he did. Remember when he saw Yard in America? He gave him the business there. That's for sure.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, he put it on him. But no, because he's from that kind of post DeGale era, right? He's from the same generation. He's cut from the same cloth as Liam Cameron.
Yeah, I think Liam knows.
Yeah, they're from the same generation. So I first saw Jose Burton when England boxed against the United States about 12 years ago. And it was him against Luis Arias. It was Errol Spence Jr. against Dudley O'Shaughnessy. Sav Marshall was on there. Tasha Jonas was on there as well. Real talented group of people. And like you're looking at those guys going, this is the future.
Yeah. So you want to see Jose against Shaq Hanlon. 2, 4, 6, 7. What's your next three, Terry?
Porky Russ versus Dean White.
Dean White. I'll subject to him pulling his birth certificate up. What?
I'd like to see that.
I've got to try and play hardball, and I'll tell you, this is what you have to do, isn't it? Dean, you can spar at Mickey's gym if you want, and you'd have to bring your birth certificate. Because I like to know who I'm sparring or fighting or whatever you want to call it. I don't just want to be fighting the man with no name, because we need to put a name on poster.
Oh wow!
We could put an X, couldn't we? You know, like the good, the bad, and the ugly. Clint Eastwood. He hasn't got a name in it, has he? For a few dollars more, and there's another one, isn't there? 3 of them, isn't there? But
no, let's see. Fights I'd like to see. Shakur Stevenson against Oscar Valdez.
Yeah, that's not British though, is it?
Oh, you just want British?
Well, yeah, I think that most of them were British on that other one. This one, I'm not bothered about Yanks.
Oh, all right. Okay, so British. Let's go through the weights. Oh God, who are we going to have on this one?
Spencer Fearing against Tommy the Guru Allen on the hard road. Let's pray for Spencer.
Nah, Spencer wins that easily.
Heck, man, Tommy would run over him, mate.
I listen. I'm going to tell you this now, right? People underestimate Spencer.
Do they?
Yeah, like he may wear the nice suits and that, but underneath there, it's literally
he's
like
got some nice
marbles.
suits, hasn't he? Spencer, yeah. If I knock you out, I want a free suit.
But no, it's marble under there. He's solid, like oof.
Oh yeah, hey, I didn't know.
And also, I didn't know that he's a 4th Dan in Taekwondo, so he's got legs as well.
Who's the 4th Dan?
Spencer.
Is that the rumor doing the rounds?
He's got legs, mate. I was like, whoo.
Who started that rumor? You, Spencer.
Him like Park him get 2 of these kicking out his blood clot, you know. Wow.
Spreading rumors that Spencer Fearing's a 4th Dan. Only Dan he knows is Dandy comic.
Nah. We won't have any of that trash talking, Porky. You do your talking in the ring. You've already told me that.
Okay. Right, your next, Terry. Mark
So they
Ben Davidson.
got...
Mark Tibbs by KO. Round 3.
Can we include Babbage as a British fighter or not?
Babbage Dave Allen.
No, Babbage Huey Fury.
Yeah, Huey against Babbage. Fucking that's Huey's coming down there, isn't he? Huey's you'll get me in trouble. Huey will be coming down to face him. He's way ahead of him, man.
But here's the point I have with Babbage. Can people survive those 6 rounds of his fury before they can let their superior skills go? Yeah, so I think Babbage versus Huey, man. I'd look forward to that.
Huey would pick him off, man, with one hand behind his back. Come on, Terry, you're trolling me.
No, I'm not sure.
Okay, then, what's your next 2?
Mate, this is how bad the stable is.
Hennessy against Mo Pryor.
I'm going to say Craig Richards against Boatsy again, man. I'm going to speak this into existence now.
Spider Richards.
Yeah.
Spider Richards against Boatsy. I'll have Spider Richards to do him, me. You?
It's where my money would go, yeah.
I like Spider Richards, me. I think he's got...
I like both guys. I just think...
fighter, isn't he? He's a complete fighter, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just think Craig's one of those, like I said, hard as nails people, man. Doesn't get injured, never been hurt, never been wobbled. Yeah.
Drives an M5.
Has he still got the M5?
An M5 when I seen him at York Hall one night, outside York Hall. Right, so
there's the white one.
Yeah, there's one more. I don't know. It was night time, mate. I'm sure it was an M5. Twin exhaust job. Right. Mo Pryor against Mick Hennessy for an all you can eat.
Oh God.
No. Mo's lost some weight, hasn't he, Mo? Yeah.
I saw the picture of him with Steve Goodwin. I think they've made peace.
There's a photo doing it round somewhere. There's me there, 28 stone, Mo Pryor, 26 stone. And I think somebody says to me, "You look bigger than Mo." I was like, I need to get a gas.
You were.
I were bigger than Mo. And that, when I see Mo now, I think, Jesus, that were me. That were me. I were bigger than Mo Pryor.
But you were benching 300 kilos at the time.
500, Terry, get it right, 500.
Yeah.
500 pound it was, not kilos.
Yeah, but 400 by way of.
Rice Krispie squares. Rice Krispie squares. I put 5 stone on, didn't I, when I moved to Oakley? 5 stone. Nobody recognised me after the first couple of months. What you been eating? Oh, I had 1,000 Rice Krispie squares. I couldn't be bothered to leave house. Do you remember winter 2012? January, around about that time. And it was really, really bad. And I had a BM at the time, a coupe BM. And do you know what? The shite in snow. I couldn't even get through snow that much. It was auto as well. I thought I'm marooned in here, and all I've got is 3 big boxes of Rice Krispie squares and a load of oval milk. So that's what I did. I just munched my way through them. I want to get a high sugar intake. Get Rice Krispies, but they're addictive, aren't they? Them Rice Krispie squares.
Yeah.
They're addictive. It's like when I was a kid, I used to eat Skittles and then go out and cause loads of bollocks. Well, I try to stay away from Skittles now.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know when I was in Oldham Hospital? Listen to this. I said to Frank on phone, because I lost my phone, didn't I, in Turkey? So, and they weren't having the visits any hospital in the country. Oldham's only one, they give half an hour. So my mum comes, she fetched me my phone. I phoned Frank. I went, "Frank, they're not feeding me. I'm on a drip here. Fetch me something to eat." He went, "Yeah, okay." I said, "Fetch me some soft chocolate." Frank's, "Yeah, all right." Comes to see me. Frank goes, "I'm going to pass them you one at a time, because if you put them outside, they'll see packet." I goes, "Gives me, they're not going to take them off, mate." I goes, "What you got me?" He went, "Here, Skittles." I couldn't believe it. You might as well have given me money, Frank. I didn't want to be on time, mate, but Skittles is not what I needed.
Well, he couldn't get you any Quality Street.
No, I didn't want Quality Street. I wanted, like, you know, like dairy milk, because you can suck on it, can't you? And get something. It's all about getting something inside. When you're not eating for 12 days.
Yeah.
It's giving me a bite. Anyway, I had no choice. I ate them, didn't I? I had them. And my mum had smuggled me this fitness bar. She goes, I ain't got no food. I mean, all I've got is this in my handbag. And it was like a fitness. I goes, is it here? I'm having to break it to get it in. And then next day, I'm like, oh my God, neat toilet here, dragging drip around one. But Frank came in first and he had a few minutes for me. He then went and seen the nurse and he's gone, oh, I shouldn't be here. I'm in the wrong place. So I still got my mum's visit. Do you know what I mean? But he brought me Skittles. And like I said, my mum gave me like a fitness bar, which were like, it was that bad. It made one of them that Frotch gave me look like a full-on topic. Because they're quite bland, aren't they? If you know what I mean. They're bland, aren't they? But Skittles, yeah, I was sucking on Skittles and kept me up all night. But he did me proud, Frank, there. So we can't put Mick Hennessy on and Mo Pryor, can we? Because the promoters are not fighters. So,
Ellie Scottney versus Shannon Courtney.
Shannon, that's a hard fight for Shannon Courtney, that, isn't it?
Whew.
Right, which ones of these, Terry, are not headline? Is Crawford, Thurman an headline, yes or no?
Yeah.
Yoka Joyce.
Yeah.
Mikael Lowell.
No.
Billum Smith. Not an headline, no?
No.
That's not a headline. Headline, no, I'll just remember that for this time next year. Natasha Jonas Mayer.
Is that a headline? No, only on an all-female card. But I think it's a hell of a fight, though. It's a hell of a. That's a chief support fight.
Yeah, chief support. Callum Johnson Brown. That's an headline, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dan Aziz, Lyndon Arthur, headline, isn't it?
Yeah.
British champion against British champion, isn't it?
Okay, British is Commonwealth, yeah. British
and Commonwealth, yeah. Jose Burton, Shakan Peters. That's would you say?
Nah, it's a good fight. That's a good fight. Like that could, you know, if they play it right, that's a fight of the night situation.
Abic against Huey, that's an headline, isn't it? Because it's Huey. Yeah. Spider Richards against Boats is an headline.
Yep.
And chief support, you'd say Shannon Courtney, Ellie Scottney, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Okie dokie. I've enjoyed that chat today. We've gone in a different route today.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to get this out today. Max has one out today, and Weapon of the Week out today, which obviously John Fury's won that. I've also
that's a lot of work rate, Porky.
Yeah, that's a lot of work rate. Weapon of the Week, obviously I didn't do today. I did that yesterday, but yours and Max's have been done today. So, and that just leaves me one more video to do for end of month, because I've got one coming out, which is, I don't know if I could count that as a video actually, because it's just a promotion thing I did with First Cosmetic Beach. I did something for them. So maybe I'm not going to, I'll put that out, but not count that as a boxing video. So maybe I've got two more to do. One more and then helmets Monday. And that's me.
Mate, did you see last night, Pork?
Did I sleep?
No, did you see last night Boxing Social was streaming a card from York Hall?
Yeah, Arvion got lost, didn't he?
Well, there's a surprise.
Yeah, I'm gutted for Mark Tibbs. Gutted for
Why?
him. I don't know really, but I just think Arvion stops and started his career on it, and he's sort of like,
he's not serious.
Yeah, that's
what I mean.
That's what I know. Mark tells him that.
He's not serious. He's had numerous opportunities to show what he's capable of.
He agreed to fight Tommy Frank, for a belt when I was with Dennis. And then Dennis says, "Oh, it looks like he's done that." I went, "Oh, brilliant." And it's sort of like, I don't know if he's got his mind on other things except boxing. I don't know. But Mark said to me a couple of weeks ago, he's back and he's dedicated and he's training hard. But obviously, it's all caught up on him, isn't it?
Yeah, man. See, but that whole card, man, it just looked like a car crash. Only got, I think it peaked out at like 1,300 views, which isn't even a Porky video.
On Rob Tebberts, right?
Yeah.
Mr. Balboa's here, Terry. Say hello. It's Terry. Is that Rocky? Who is it? Mikus. Who's that, don't you? Well, what's my tongue? But yeah, I'm gutted for Mark Tibbs. Really gutted for him because it's not nice when your kid loses, is it? But he hasn't exactly been loyal to Mark as if he's been stopping and starting, has he?
Nah. If he was going to do anything, he'd have done it by now.
Yeah. I still think him and Tommy Frank's a good fight, but Tommy's more seasoned now, isn't he?
Yeah, Tommy's been more consistent.
Yeah, he's been more consistent. So interesting. Before we go, Terry, I want to ask you who you think is going to be the biggest star of 2002 who breaks through.
2022
from England. Yeah, the next big star who's going to shock us all and go on to do great things next year. Somebody we hardly know at the moment.
Ooh. Harris Akbar in the Commonwealth Games.
Yeah. Is he going to do well at Commonwealth Games? Yeah.
Yeah, he could get the gold medal in the Commonwealths and then turn over. If Harris Akbar's chin holds out at a pro level, he'll be a good fighter. I also think the Azim brothers, Adam and Hassan Azim, that are trained by Shane, I think they're going to have a breakout year next year.
Shane McGuigan, yeah?
Yeah.
He's not daft, is he, Shane? He's always in mix, isn't he?
Well, he chooses carefully.
Yeah, I liked how he nipped it in the bud when he was asked about training Joshua. He was pretty firm, wasn't he, with his answer, wasn't he?
Yeah, if I want to train him, I train him by myself. I don't need anyone else.
No, I don't want anybody else involved. It'll be me. And I think that were good. That sends out a message, doesn't it, that he's not going to have anybody hanging around him trying to. Because you know yourself, don't you? I'm not going to mention names, but people come into certain people's circles who are trainers before you know where you are. The rapping fighters' hands, aren't they? You know what I mean?
Well, and then you turn your back again, and they're there on the ring ropes, giving advice during sparring.
and then what they do, and I've seen it myself. They're coming up to the trainer and say, "Come on, we're all going down to so and so's." Tails wagging dog, then, isn't it? Well, I've seen that many, and I'm like, oh my god. And so what Shane McGuigan did when he dealt with that, he just knocked that off there, you know. When Shane McGuigan turned around and said, "If I train him, it's my way or the highway," kind of thing, I kind of had more respect for it. I already respect Shane anyway, but I had more respect for him for being firm. Obviously, they reached out to him. He said Joshua's team, and he said, "Look, if I do it, it's my way. We'll do it my way, and it will just be me." So, and he could have quite easily been a company man and hung around, and like other people are doing for crumbs or just to get paid, instead of looking at it like Mark Tibbs. He got rid of the bar, didn't he? Because he didn't want the father print spoken. Well, I respect that, and I respect Shane for saying that. He gets my Shane. You get my respect. Yeah. So, okie dokie. Right, then I'll let you get off then, because I know you're dying to get on. You're dying to get somewhere for some scran now, aren't you, Teddy? Because you always eat round about this time, don't you? I'm going for some food pork.
I do, mate. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't really eaten much today. So, I mean, look, one of us has to be 28 stone.
You're not 28, you're 16, aren't you? 17?
Yeah, 17, but I want to get to 28. I want to get a big chain around my neck as well.
Big chain. The big chain's no good, mate. They just attract attention. You end up meeting somebody like Dean White and they end up swapping it with you for a little chain. Or you end up getting it took off you. Chains are no good, mate. They attract attention. You know that. Go on, you ball breaker. Right, you have a great.
So I tune in.
Have a great weekend, pal.
You too, mate.
Speak to you
Speak
again.
to you soon, right?
Speak to Rico. It's time to give me a bell.
I will do, mate.
Cheers, brother.
All right, bye.
Right. Well, that was Terry Chapandama from London Town. Nice to have him on. It rocks. Nice to have old Terry on and chat a bit of boxing, have a bit of banter. We've got nothing bad in my heart against anybody. We all want what's best for the sport of boxing, don't we? That's great fights. And last year I gave Terry the opportunity to tell me 10 great fights that he wanted and that were on his list. And you've just heard it there. And none of them have happened. So are they giving us what we want? No, we're not. Does Premier League at football give us what we want? Yeah, it does, because the Premier League, everybody plays each other, don't they? You know what I mean? What do you reckon about that, Rockinator? Hey, me cush. Don't they? You don't love your dad. Well, that's about it for this weekend. You've got this one, you've got Max's, you've got Weapon of the Week, and then you've got two more helmets, and then another one. And then that is me done. You've had all Novembers. You've had the missing ones from October members and October YouTube. You've had all your November ones. And I'm back in good books. All right. Peace out. Thank you for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment and sharing the videos on WhatsApp. Fucking sounded like Dave Allen there, didn't I? What do you reckon? Oh, Scooby-Doo. Peace out. Dean White, don't forget, get that birth certificate I put on social media. All right? Then we'll do battle with gloves on at Mick's gym after I've dealt with your mate Fearon.